Let's hear about some other people whose lives were in jeopardy in 1973. On August 23rd. This is a fun news story. Jan Erik Olsen was on leave from prison. What that means, I'm not entirely sure. This is Sweden. I guess prison was way fucking chiller than it is here. You get to go on leave. This isn't like part of the story. This is just he was on leave. You know what I mean? I was too busy like researching the rest of the story to go like, oh yeah, what the fuck? But it's like not treated as being weird. He was on leave. He was just on. It was break time for prison. You know what I mean?
Prison break time.
It was prison break, but not the way you're thinking. No, this is good. This is fine. We have a prison break, but it's not an emergency. It's fine. They're outside enjoying their lives. It's hard being a prisoner. Let them take a break. So anyway, he was on leave from prison, and while he was out doing that, you know, in America we think that's not really a smart idea to let prisoners take breaks from being prisoners. There's a reason they're in prison, right? That's how we think. We might be onto something because while he was on leave, he attempted to rob Credit Banken, which is what you might be able to ascertain as a bank in Sweden. Credit Banken, spelled with a K in the front. Credit Banken, all one word. So he tried to rob this place. He was armed and he was trying to take this place by force. Some police showed up. He took 4 of the employees of the banks hostage. He exchanged fire with some police officers. He ended up hitting one of them in the hand. They got some injuries. Didn't seem too serious, but still, I mean, it's a serious occurrence to be shooting at the cops and taking people hostage, right? The police, they for some reason allowed. Again, this is part of the fun prison system here. They allowed Olsen's friend, who was a fellow prisoner, Clark Olofsson, to be brought in as like a liaison. Like that was part of his demands. He wanted like a bunch of stuff. He wanted a Ford Mustang and a bunch of money and some bulletproof vests and things like that. And he also wanted his friend Clark Olofsson to be here with him to like go back and to be a go-between between him and the cops. And they're like, I guess we got to let this guy have his prison buddy here with him. So they just gave him an accomplice. They gave him a partner to work with. Like let him come out of prison and go and it's so funny to be like in jail and be like, oh, you're being let out. Well, just why? What's going on? We need you to go rob a bank right now for us. But just like you're doing it for the cops, so don't try not to have too good a time, I guess, you know? You're going with your buddy Jan Erik. Like, oh, really? Me and Jan are robbing a bank? That sounds great. Don't be happy about this. It's part of your serving your sentence. So they let him bring him in as a liaison. And basically, over the next couple of days, the hostages grew to trust these guys more than they trusted the cops because they were worried. They saw the guys as being normal people who wanted money. They didn't want to murder. And they thought the cops were going to escalate the situation and make things worse. And they were very prepared to see the worst thing happen if the cops kept pushing to take things farther, right? So, which the cops kind of did. I mean, they did escalate the situation. If they just let the guys leave with money, everything would have been fine. But instead, they drilled a hole in the roof of like the main vault and poked a camera in there. And then so Olsen like shot through the hole a couple times and ended up wounding one of the officers. So another guy got shot. And it's like, well, yeah, don't be fucking stick your head in the hole. Get out of there. What are you doing? Like, dumb as fuck. Like, drill a hole and be like, can we see him in there? And then they get shot. Why did you do that? But so on the 28th, so this started on the 23rd. On the 28th, the police officers used tear gas, which he had warned them not to do or he would kill somebody. But this is a good guy. He's not going to kill anybody, you know? So,
Cops shouldn't be escalating that situation.
I trust him so much. The cops, they escalated. They used tear gas, those fucking pigs. And they got everybody out of there. All the hostages were unharmed. Here, this was interesting. Olsen and Olofsson. Remember, Olsen is the one who was on leave from prison, and Olofsson is the one they just took out of prison to be a part of this. They both were charged and sentenced for like being a part of this crime, which I was like, that seems a little bit fucked up. I don't think Olofsson deserves to be a part of this. He was later acquitted. Like he was kind of like, wait, what the fuck, man? You guys brought me in on this. Like I didn't choose to be. I didn't ask you to bring me out of jail. I was in jail. So then they just put him back in jail for what he originally was serving time for. I was like, well, damn, that'd be so wild to be like, hey, Olafson, get out here. You're gonna go and rob a bank for us. And then at the end of it, they go, now you're in trouble. You're going to jail for robbing that bank. Like, hey man, what the fuck? You put me in there. Why am I going to jail? You
Well,
know?
you got to be successful, or you're gonna get in trouble. If you would have
I,
got away and gave him all the money, they'd have been like, "All right, you're good. Get
it's
back
very much like
in."
a Running Man situation. Yeah, like hey, yeah, rob this bank for your freedom. You know, if you're successful, you get $1 million and you're a free man. But if you're, unsuccessful, we're gonna lie about the whole thing, and you're going down. We want that bank robbed. The noteworthy thing about all this story, why am I even telling you about any of this? Banks get robbed every single day. Weird, weird people get let out of
Let out of
prison.
jail.
Weird people rob banks while on prison leave, and then have their other friend busted out by the cops to help them rob it. Everyone gets in trouble and gets acquitted later. All this shit happens every single day. Why am I telling you about this? Because this, of course, if you haven't guessed by now, is the genesis of the phrase, the whole phenomenon known as Stockholm Syndrome. These people,
Gotcha.
they trusted their captors. People, have kind of, it's morphed and mutated over the years, like every phrase does. And a lot of people use it to mean like you're in love with your captors or something like that. There was like a rumor at the time because like I think Jan, he was in jail. He was, I supposedly he was a good looking guy. I didn't get a good look at this guy, but he had like a lot of women who were like sending him love letters and things like that. And he ended up marrying one of his fans. People spread a rumor that she was like one of the hostages, but she wasn't. So that might lead to why people think it's a romantic thing. But essentially, just the fact that they trusted their captors and
I
grew
could
to
see that
sympathize with them.
becoming. I could see that becoming like you would fall in love with somebody that if they're already manipulating you to the point where you're like, oh, actually, this guy is trustworthy. Why wouldn't that just escalate? You know what I mean? Like further, if you had more time with them or something. Like if you're already manipulating somebody that you're putting into a bad situation, that they're not in a bad situation, I'm sure you can manipulate them in other ways too. Or they're
That's one
easily
way to look at it.
manipulated.
I think more often than not, the people doing these things, taking hostages, putting people in these situations, they really are good people. And that trusting them is the right choice.
Trey, you would be the one that falls in love with your cat.
Well, like think about like how it worked out for Belle, right? She fell in love with that's crazy monster, and then she got a beautiful, handsome prince out of it. She fell in love with a dog bison man, like you know what I mean? By all accounts, Jan Erik Olsen, he was a handsome.
Wait,
guy,
are you just saying that Stockholm Syndrome is good, or that?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
It's the right move. I think that yeah, it's like, yeah, you should trust your captors in every chance you get because they probably are decent people. And at the worst case scenario is it ends up like this and you get let out and no one got hurt. Best case scenario,
That's not the worst case scenario.
You end up with a handsome prince.